Hello again, and welcome to another Build the Back to the Future DeLorean. This is issue number 47. We're going to be finishing up the dashboard and the steering wheel. Hopefully this time my camera will behave itself, otherwise there'll have to be some slightly fancier editing than usual. This is today's parts kit. Like I say, it's steering wheel and the last pieces of the dashboard. We'll get started. Should be a quick one today, though there is some assembly with the larger pieces. Next week is going to be the long one. Okay, so this week we have BP, FP, and BM screws, cat hair. I've also got the steering wheel, the underside of the dash, and the parts to assemble. So starting off, we have the two lever arms that go around to run the windshield wipers and the lights and the horn and all of that stuff. So the first one I need to find is the windshield wipers, which is this guy, and it does have some nice printing on it. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that on there. The other one is the lights and horn. And again, fine printing, not sure how clear that's going to come through. So, we start by installing these two pieces. We take the underside, I believe it's the underside, maybe it's the top side of the steering column holder. We're going to put the windshield washers in on one side and the horn and lights on the other. And we're going to clamp that with the other half, like that. And this will be secured with two BP screws. Okay, so we have that, and the levers do move if they need to. And I guess I was just holding it upside down. The tabs must go on the bottom based on where the icons go. Okay, so the next step is to take the dashboard assembly that we have built previously, this guy, and we're going to secure that piece to it with those two tabs. This is going to secure with two FP screws. Okay, so we now have a dashboard with that steering column in the center. Now we are going to go to the underside of the dashboard, this larger piece here, and we have to attach a guide piece to it. Now there's two different pieces here, and I don't know if they're identical or not. I have to figure that out. I think they gave me a spare, but they're not actually identical. That's interesting. It's the first time I've gotten an extra piece. They are very similar. They are almost identical. I guess they're probably identical in practical sense. Okay, well, so that's an oddball. So anyway, this goes on these two posts right here, and it's going to cover up that and just make a more complete channel. That's going to be secured with two more BP screws. Yeah, that's strange. That's the first time I've gotten, that I can remember, a spare, unannounced spare part without having to order a whole extra kit. Okay, so like I say, that just fits in there to give that a cap, I guess, on that channel. This is all going to attach to the rest of the dashboard now. Okay, it has cutouts for all of the existing screws. It's interesting. I guess it lets you take parts of this apart without taking the whole thing apart. Not quite sure the intent. So it fits on like that. Like I say, it has cutouts for these screws, for these screws, and then it's going to be secured through the other holes here. And that is going to be secured with 4 more FP screws. Nothing worse than having a rattle in your dashboard that you can't figure out. So, that is the dashboard assembly together. Next, I have to fit the actual steering rod through. Now, this is the piece that in a later issue there's a replacement for, supposedly with a slightly different shape. I'm going to go ahead and install this one. I thought about whether I would put the last pieces together or not. I think I can get it back apart to replace this if necessary. And because I'm ahead on shipments, because I got that big box of pieces, I think that I will still get that before all of this goes on the car. But I'm not 100% certain, so we'll figure out what happens there. So, this slips through from the back, through all of those channels, and it comes out through there, through the center where you expect the steering wheel would go. The last thing we're going to do is put the steering wheel on and secure it with a BM screw. I say last thing we're doing with this part of the build. So, this should be keyed, so the steering wheel only fits one way. Yep, it's got a square bit. Good job. That worked perfectly. I don't know why I thought that that would work. Okay. So that is a steering wheel attached, and when you turn the steering wheel, that other bit moves. So this is the part I considered not doing. There is a centerpiece that goes on the steering wheel, includes some switches, and that snaps on. It might be a bit of a pain to remove if I need to, but I'm going to go ahead and do it and just hope that it's either not that hard to remove or something, or that I don't need to. I don't think it's going to snap in super hard. I think that my sticky trick, like I removed my wheel caps, will take this back off fine. In fact, I'm pretty confident of it now that I've put that on. So that is the steering wheel, which currently extends and retracts, but not a bad looking steering wheel. The actual last step, we're going to bring in the center console, and we're going to put all this together like that. This is going to be secured with 2 more FP screws, and I do have to pay a little bit of attention to the wiring to make sure I don't get anything caught or pinched. Once that first screws in, the whole thing kind of holds itself together. So, here we have the dashboard and the center console, complete with steering wheel. Again, have to install this when I get it. That's been shipped. Hopefully I see that soon. There's a cat about to make an appearance here. Off the table. Get down. So, that is our completed dashboard for the moment. That, I think, looks pretty good. If you like what you see, do please consider subscribing. Check out those other playlists for other builds, the mods that we've done on this build so far, and some upcoming mods. And have a good one, guys.